Hello everybody, Reggie Time here, playing a 16L session on PPPoker in a Filipino club. I'm not doing any no limit videos this week because they just don't do particularly well on the channel. I don't think you guys like them. Most of you are no limit players. So on PPPoker this week, I'm going to probably do this and one more. 16 that'll be the highest I play, because most of you guys who watch the channel are micro stakes no limit players, so we'll do some content for that. Maybe we'll even play some 10NL or lower on Friday, just so you guys can see what the games look like. And then the other videos are going to be from Poker Bros, where I play more in my comfort zone in stakes wise, which is going to be 40 and 60 now, which is kind of what I play to try and make like an extra income stream on my later night and early hours sessions. So it's going to be a no limit month. I think we experimented with different games on the channel and they're just not that popular. So no sense making content people don't want to watch. I'd like to get my videos back up to getting 150 to 200 views in their first week rather than the 70 to 110 we've been seeing. So we'll do the content I think people want to see. Some good news. I won another tournament last night. I won the Sky Mega Stack on Sunday night. And last night on Sky, I won a £10 bounty hunter for £200, including bounties. And here we flopped a nut straight, so we're going to win some more money. Absolutely no reason to raise here. Hopefully this guy decides his ace-8 is good enough to jam. Turn doesn't change a thing. If he bets big, I think we'll just jam. Well, we don't need to jam. We just get to call the jam. And he's drawing dead. Happy days. That's how we like it here at Reggie Time Poker. Flop the nuts, have someone do all the betting, take the money. Happy days. So yeah, my love for no limit is returning, and that is very much in line with my overall improved mood regarding the world. The sun's out today. It's a beautiful day. Coronavirus in the UK especially is slowly but surely becoming manageable. Yeah, we've got through the dark months of winter. November, December, January were pretty dark months for me. I wasn't depressed or anything like that. I was just a bit like, oh God. You know, the weather's shit, the world's shit. I'm not enjoying poker so much. We're not enjoying no limits so much. All that cloud's lifted now, and everything's looking a whole lot better. And yeah, my attitude towards no limit has changed a little bit. I still think no limit games are tougher than they ought to be. At the limits that we all play. But that said, it's still hands down the most popular game, and as much as I would rather other games took over, that's not going to happen anytime soon. So we either sit outside the tent pissing into it and don't make as much money as we perhaps could, or we get inside the tent and start pissing out of it like everybody else does. And that seems like the option I'm going to take for the time being. We have an absolute nit here who's made an extraordinary size 3-bet. We are going to fold 2. This video is going to be exactly 45 minutes long because, well, you already know that. I don't know why I always say that because you guys know how long it's going to be. Because it's 11:15 in the AM and we have somebody coming to receive care from us this afternoon or receive support from us this afternoon at 11:30 AM. So the timing's good. I would love to say I've done some work on my no limit holding game lately, but that would be a big fat lie. Um, I was chatting with somebody the other day, and they described me as like instinctively good at poker, but technically, I make some mistakes. That's someone who knows my game pretty well, and I wouldn't disagree with that. Really wouldn't disagree. He basically was saying like instinctively you kind of very good at picking up when people are just full of bullshit, when people um have hands, don't have hands, etc. But he's of the belief that I underplay my hands sometimes and like kind of like just a little bit too tight in some spots where we could be pushing some thinner edges, and I wouldn't argue with that. I really wouldn't. That's been my style for a long time, and when I try and play further towards the margins, that's when my variance increases, and I don't believe my win rate increases with it. I'm very much of the opinion of increase your variance, increase your win rate in poker in general. But when I get too close to what I consider the margins to be, I feel that these games are generally, microstakes cash is generally so tight that we don't want to be in there like going with our most extreme bluff catches or taking every like aggressive bluff spot, for example. We, I don't think there's anything terrible with that by any stretch, but I don't think people are bluffing widely enough in these games to bluff catch as wide as my friend was suggesting that I could. And in large pots, I certainly don't think people fold enough to raises to put as many kind of like speculative bluff raises into my raising range. I think he's right. I think I could certainly make more effort to in some smaller pots. He's definitely right with that. I do tend to not concentrate enough on smaller pots and look for more opportunities to pick them up. So that's something that I'm definitely thinking about more when I'm playing now. But I didn't agree with everything that you said. But in terms of like what improvements am I hoping to make in my game, it's very much going to be more focusing on the smaller pots. I think I play pretty damn well in medium size and big pots relative to my opponents, but spots like this, when I would probably think just checking back's okay, and I'm still not sure, so we are just going to check back. This guy did 3-bet pre, although it was only a minimal 3-bet. Now we're going to bet to get a little bit of value from ace high. And now we're going to bet small again, just to try and get a call from ace high with the river full house. And he folds. Let the threes go. So yeah, and I think my aversion to trying hard to win small pots is especially accentuated in tournaments, and I think it's kind of a little bit of a hangover from tournaments that's leaked into my cash game, that I do not see bet enough to try and pick up small pots. I'll raise with whatever, I don't know, king jack offsuit from the cutoff. I will miss the the big blinds behind will be, say, I don't know, fucking 25 blinds behind or 20 blinds behind, and I won't stab anywhere near frequently enough to try and pick up pots, and that's kind of why I bleed away a little bit in tournaments, and towards like the middle to end stages, my stack tends to dwindle. That's something that I've tried to change a little bit in the last few days of my tournament play. I've had 2 wins now. I'm not saying the 2 things have come together to make those 2 victories, but it obviously helps. I used to see bet a lot more frequently in cash games than I do now. I think I can probably find some more C bets. I just kind of look at boards and think, well, they could have bits and pieces of that. They're not likely to fold, and I don't trust people to fold enough when it's no limit hold'em, and quite often people just won't have very much. So I'm certainly going to be trying a little bit harder to win smaller pots when I've been like the pre-flop aggressor, and the action is check to me. So that's on my to-do list. So we have a raise from an under the gun player as we flop a set. And a 3-bet from a massive nit. So again, we're just going to fold the ace-king on the button facing this action. You guys will fucking hate that, I already know. But when an 18/16 with a 5% 3-bet, 3-bets middle position, albeit it could be 3-betting like to isolate this guy. When he 3-bets from middle position, turns out we had the best hand. We've got 0 blinds invested. Just going to get out of the way. This table looks like it's about to die, which is unfortunate. I know, it's just coming back in time. It's been rescued. The nit has quit. He'll be back in a nanosecond, I would imagine. And 2 pretty bad looking players have joined us. Yep, straight back. Don't blame him. Not going to needle him for that. Don't blame him for leaving when it looked like it was just him and I heads up, and then 2 players sit who are the types of players you absolutely want to be playing with, and he's joined again. All seems perfectly in line to me. There's a lot more of this stuff in No Limit, isn't there? 9 deuce, 8-3, jack 5. Not used to seeing 5s and 3s in my cash game exploits. Something I'm going to have to get used to again. 4-9. Three, 5. There sure is a lot of folding in No Limit Hold'em. Should call it No Limit Fold'em, shouldn't they? See what I did there? No Limit Fold'em. Complete with the 9-8 offsuit here. Snap get raised, which is disappointing. If it could be asked, we would move to this seat here, but it's not good etiquette, so we won't bother. Come on, Hold'em. Give me something nice. Not asking for a not low, no limit hold'em. Just, you know, cheeky little 8-7 suited. 8-8, even better. Just flat here on the button with the 8s. 3-betting seems overplayish. He snaps c-bet. Under pair, there's a lot of draws that will have decent equity. Not closing the action. He shows his top pair quite proudly. King 8 suited, a almost mandatory raise from the cutoff. We finally found a hand we can raise with. Flop a pair, he bets. I was going to bet 2.5. So I think we shall raise. And he folds. I just want to call him in bet there. I think I probably would have just gone with it off that stack depth had he reshoved. Wouldn't have been thrilled, but we probably would have gone with it at that stack depth. I think once you raise there, folding at that depth out of the question. Two jacks under the gun. We love that. We'd love to see it. Are we going to get any action? A little bit. We're going to get any more. It's another set. We're not getting many pre-flop holdings so far this session, but when we are getting to flops, we're certainly flopping well. On a board like this, we're just going to go pretty big with our bet. Lots of draws can call. King X can call. May even get a race or something. Sadly, we just take down the blinds. I'll take down the pot. On the Jack 10-6, we have no backdoor equity. But I think we're supposed to bet these boards with a high frequency. Get called. And very quickly too. That was very much a one and done against this player. Part of me wants to just bet again, but it's just not. It wouldn't be a credible line. He had the king queen, so it would have worked against that hand exactly. But I think bet check bet on that board would just be ready. It'd be a hard line to convince anyone who's thinking about the game that we had anything good. Obviously, king high probably just folds. But I thought if Jack X, 10X, probably most pairs wouldn't fold there. If I was in issues, I wouldn't fold a pair there versus the bet check bet line. Because all of my strong hands want to continue betting the turn there for value to charge draws, etc. And I'm presuming with him being an 18-16, he's at least somewhat cognizant of which lines are bullshit which lines post up are bullshit and which lines are credible. Flop a good shot. Think 4 big blinds seems like a reasonable starting point. Instantly take it down, which is fine by me. And we're going to call here because of this gentleman in the big blind who is very happy to 3-bet, albeit small sample. He's got 13% 3-bet. So we 3-bet the nit. If we had we 3-bet, it's going to incline these guys to fold more and then just get me heads up against the only other competent looking player at the table, which isn't what we want. We want to be allowing the weakest players to remain in the pot and not just isolate ourselves against the better parts of a regular's range. A very easy call here on the flop. Tempted to 3-bet him here. Checking back the turn. This feels like it's going to be if he bets again here, I think he's going to have stuff like pocket kings, pocket queens, a decent amount. That's like bet, pot control now thinks are good. We'll go with the small value bet. Do we get called by worse? I think not. I think not. This should have been a C bet, but I was too busy figuring this hand out. As it happens, we've turned trips. Seven, 6 suited. We'll try and see a flop here. I think this guy's probably got a bluff catcher. So we're going to go quite big. We've been squeezed by a short stack, so the 7-6 goes out of the window. This would stink if he raised here. That would stink the place out, but thankfully he didn't. We weren't put to that test. These spots are spots that I don't feel I play particularly well at the moment. It just doesn't feel like we should be c-betting that board. Whilst at the same time, doesn't feel like ace-deuce has an especially good chance to win either. So these are definitely spots I need to work on. think we should just stab small more on those types of boards than I'm currently doing. Kind of got it in my head. That's not good for my range, so I'm not betting it. And that's fine in theory, but there's going to be lots of boards that come down that aren't good for your range or particularly good for your hand. And if you're checking them all, then it's not good. It's just deciding when I'm going to bet and when I'm just going to slow down. And that's the bit I don't know. I mean, typically I'd be looking for like bits and bobs of backdoor equity or what have you to decide whether I'm going to make a light C bet. But ace too soft doesn't flop backdoor equity on 7-9-5 rainbow. It just doesn't have it. So is it just that always just like a pure give up? And some of our C bets are going to be more around the king highs and queen highs because our ace high just has that little bit more showdown value. Something I need to put some thought into. It's a pretty weak call from the small blind, the 6-7 suited. But I want this guy in the pot. 3-bet here, he folds, he defends sometimes, and we got 7 high. He's going to have a lot of ace-X in his flop checking back range, so we're not going to probe the turn ace. As you can see, you lower stakes guys, these 16L games are pretty damn soft. There's only me and this guy who's anything like a regular. I do have some guys in these clubs who make a decent monthly profit relative to the stakes. Things do get a little tougher when you start moving up into the 14L and 16L games. Then I think you need to be a decent regular to have a good win rate in those games. But you can be just kind of like a mediocre, average, recreational, regular type player and do okay in these games. Either make money or make your money stretch out a lot longer so you get more pleasure, more enjoyment, more time for the money that you spend playing poker. Interesting pot developing here on the middle table. Very interesting pot. I think that's a fourth bet or raise that's gone in on this street. Could be wrong. I think it went bet, raise, call, raise, re-raise, and then the king jack, which, let's be honest, hugely overplayed there. He gets the win anyway. Good games. These are good games to be in. Try and isolate this fellow here with our king 10 offsuit on the button. Failed to isolate. Now we're just hoping to fade the limp raise, which we do. Flop a gut shot and a flush draw. Feels like a spot we want to bet. I wanted to make that 3.5, but it's not letting me because the decimal point doesn't work. We've been checking min raised, which isn't fun, but too much going on to fold. He's now going to bomb the turn and we're going to fold. He checks the turn. Okay, we'll take our free card then, sir. Thank you. And we won't get there. we are going to try to knock this guy out of the pot and just take heads up with dead money against this fellow. Okay, this is interesting to say the least. I mean, we're getting 2-1 now. We just need to call. The guy's got Jack 8 offsuit. Hallelujah for him. He's going to win. Oh no, he's not going to win. We're going to win. What the actual fuck was that all about? I did just say that these games are soft though, so at least that helps demonstrate my point. To be a value bet here. We do, we go tiny. Should try and get 2 blinds out of somebody. I was going to say we'll keep calling while this guy bets small, but he's double barreled now. Turn doesn't improve our equity. So we'll let our second pair go. Out of position to 2 opponents. Of course we would have driven trips because today's the day that we're going to run well, but we weren't to know about. We weren't to know that, and I stand by my fold. Definitely going to be a very easy C bet here. He decides to lead out. So we'll just fold. No reason to be defending the Queen 9 off there. Versus the fishy line. Deuce 3, 4, 5. That looks like a board we want to make a bet on. Whereas the Queen 5-5 does not look like a board we want to place a bet on. Jack Deuce, pretty loose open, but 2 pretty loose players. Just going to rebang the Ace King here. 2 shorties behind us. Get it in good. And we win the pot. Just cruising. We're just cruising along. Gonna get a little bit out of line again versus the only other regular at the table. With our King 8 suited on the button. He does have a reasonable fold to 3 bet of almost 60%, which is why I'm happy to push the boat out a little bit against him. Would have been a tasty flop and turn, wouldn't it? We'd have been left with just a pair of kings at the end of it, but would have been tasty. Would have been an interesting pot had he continued. All the money would have gone in probably, and had all the money gone in, we probably would have lost the pot because we would have been left with just top pair no kicker by the end, which usually isn't going to be a strong enough hand to win huge pots. Get check and min raised over here. I think with our 9 high flush draw, we're just going to leave things be. And another genius joins the table. It's a shame I'm going to have to end this session because tables are shaping up rather nicely. Turn 2 pairs here. We're going to be finding a raise on the turn. Call, come on, you know you want to. Nope. No dice. 8 would have been a bad card, would have counterfeited us. Probably fucked here with the ace jack, but going to call, take a line that if he does have any bluffs, allows him to keep all his bluffs in. We're ahead of the jack 10, which is very nice. And we raised a flop there. We may still have got max value from jack 10, but I think the line we took ensured we got max value from it. Happy days. Literally just cruising along, playing some very basic squared away poker and profiting at every table. It's nice. We love to see it. It's good for my bank balance. It's good for my videos because much as I don't edit my videos and just like show them when I win, it's nice when we get some winning videos out, and hopefully it might encourage 1 or 2 of you guys to say, you know what, if that fucking old Nick Reggie can win in these games, and these games do look fucking good, then I need to be in them. So hopefully it will encourage some of you guys who've worked with me before to reach out. And we're going to raise this guy here because he seems to donk an awful lot. He calls, returns some equity. Donks big again, easy pull. Yeah, hopefully some of you guys who've worked with me before will encourage you to get back in touch. Now the world's getting back to normal. Maybe some of you are getting back to work. Maybe some of you getting your finances back on track after COVID drove a coach and horses through them. Or maybe just some of the new guys who decide, you know what, let's have a little look. 369 multi-way. No, thank you. Not for this boy. I'm very much a no set, no bet type of guy. Problem with pocket pairs that don't improve, you very rarely flop anything that allows you to semi-bluff reasonably. Turned out we won anyway. Again, going to make a weak call out of the small blind rather than 3-bet. Comfortable doing that in relatively soft games. It's not a good approach to take in higher stakes games or tougher games, but I think it's a good approach in these games. Completely fine. No reason to raise. Pick up a flush draw, which is nice, but no reason to raise. And I think we're just going to check call a river 2. Check calling triple barrels in micro stakes no limit is not usually a good idea, but we're pretty much right at the top of our range here. It takes this line. And our opponent had a random bluff. We love to see it. We love to see it. I would say this session has been almost flawless in terms of what's happened to us. Not saying my play's been flawless, but nothing bad has happened whatsoever. And some pleasant things have happened. You're going to donk again? No donk this time. And the fold comes in. And we're just about ready to wrap things up. Let's do a quick tally. 558. Let's call that 1,000 for argument's sake. 1,600 chips, which is precisely 2 buy-ins. So we've won 2 buy-ins in, and I've basically only played for the length of the video, just maybe a few minutes beforehand. So 45 minutes, 2 buy-ins, 0 tough decisions. That's how we like it. Why can't poker always be like that? It'd be beautiful, wouldn't it? But we are going to leave it there because it is 11:26 and I want to be prepared for when Ashley arrives. So I don't want to be shutting tables down and things when there's a knock at the door. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. Hope you've enjoyed this brief look into the world of 16L in a Filipino union on PPPoker. If you'd like to take a closer look by getting involved yourself, you can contact me via the Facebook group, and I'd be delighted to hear from you. But we'll leave it there for now. Take care, everybody. Have a smashing day, and we'll catch you again soon. Bye-bye for now.